Welcome to my channel. This is Ryan Lang, MVP, and in today's video we're gonna talk about sex ties. What is a sex tie? Like, I've been doing a lot of reading, and one of the things I stumble on is just sex tie. I've done some research on it, and I'm reading more and more and more. Now, the Bible tells us to get married, or God pairs us with a helpmate, which he did. Like, in the beginning of time was the Word, and God was the Word. So the words that come from our mouth is definitely powerful. Now we're going to talk about sex tie. And I'm noticing more and more as people go on and they do their own thing. Like myself, we never get it right. So many people try to go out there and find their own relationships, and they keep wasting their time. They keep picking the wrong relationship. You want to know why? Because it's not put together or consecrated by the Lord. People go out there and they try to have sex on their own, build their own family. Without God in the mix, there's no love. How can you have love without God? Now back to sex tie. Like, sex tie could be like you're sleeping around with multiple people. You take on their emotions, you take on their sin, you take on their demons. Can you take on somebody's demon? Of course. There are people you meet off the bat, you just can't stand them. It's that feeling, it's that energy. So spirits carry energy, and demons work with a lot of entity that you can't fight. People think they can fight with the demon and win, or the devil and win. You cannot fight the devil without the Lord. You have to have the Lord in your heart, in your mind, and in your soul to be physically strong in order to get over sex tie. Because without healing, you're going to keep on doing the same mistake because you're sexually controlled by a demon. There's a demon for every sin. And this is some deep stuff. And let's just say somebody has a sin of suicide, and you have a sin of suicide, and you guys get together. That's a very bad recipe right there. So you never know what you're getting yourself into. This is why I always say, take the time to know who you're dealing with and work on your relationship. And ladies, take the time to pick good men, because good men are short. Like, how much man would go and take up a woman with a bunch of kids and solely love her fully, unconditionally? The Bible tells us to love unconditionally. Like, kids aren't a baggage or a burden. They do take time. They do take money. Now, females have been fighting for freedom for a very long time, because man has been doing a lot of wrong. Freedom of, I guess, taking care of kids, because there are people that have kids that don't take care of their kids, like fathers. It's in our instinct, a real man, to take care of his offspring. We're lions. Whatever we create, we're responsible for it. That's just wired into me. I don't know about any other guy, but I'm wired that way to take care of mine. Now, ladies, don't use kids as a leverage over man. Sometimes people get bitter because guys have moved on and they've married and they're living happier than they were before with the previous person. And also, when people get married, the first year is nice, and after that, it could be a whole bunch of arguments until it just smoothens out. So when you're married, the devil is going to have a play field with your wife and your life until you figure it out. Gentlemen, you have to find ways not to get shaken. It's so easy to get off shaking. If a woman knows she can shake you, the devil is going to have a play field with your wife, with your husband. This is why people get into so much arguments and they don't even know it. Because they get shaken easily. It's not everything you're going to argue about, yell about, or scream about. Back to sex tie. There's so much demons rolling around. So you go and you sleep with one person, you take on their, in Jamaica we say crosses. You take on their crosses and their bad luck and their demons. It's probably possible. Because energy. There are people that rub off on you. If you keep hanging around with losers, they're going to keep begging you and you might fall into a loser mentality as well. Same thing with sex. If you keep screwing around with a bunch of other people that are screwing around with a bunch of other people, waste man and waste woman and fly body gal, you're going to end up in a whole bunch of garbage. This is why you have to make sure you have God in your relationship. And I can't stress it enough. You have to pray and read your Bible. The churches are closed right now. Make sure you're praying and you're reading and you're holding worship every day. And there are people out here that don't believe in God. Now every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. You see where we need God? Because every man, including myself, is a sinner. I ain't better than nobody. Now I've done this whole screwing around and dating and multiple partners when I was single. I didn't know what I was doing. When you're so deep into sin, you don't know what you're doing. It looks right. The devil doesn't bother you as much, actually, because you're lost. You're blind. But it's true faith, prayer, using my brain. I can live to tell the story that I've danced with the devil and he ain't got my soul no more. You have to work on your relationship. You have to work out all those demons. Everybody has a demon they struggle with. It may not be suicide. It may not be argument. Who knows? Everybody has something they struggle with. You never know where you could have picked that up from. Until you actually acknowledge that you're in sin and you work towards making your life better and your spiritual walk better with the Lord, it's very hard to get out of a sex tie. Trust me. Sex is so addictive for some people. And a woman will use it as a prize over a man that is weak to sex. Gentlemen, you have to know how to hold your own and at the same time hold your help meet accountable. Think about it. You take yourself off the market. The Bible tells us to have love with our wife and draw closer to our wife and leave our parents. To cleave close to our wife. It doesn't mean just move to a bigger house. It means to have kids multiply and build a foundation. But you have to have a spiritual walk first. When building the foundation of your marriage, put God first. Even over your wife, even over your husband. Because as long as you're good with God, He's going to give you that soulmate. You may fight it out a bit. The Lord doesn't let you go through anything you can't handle. Now, be careful of who you're sleeping with. Because you never know what kind of demons they're carrying with them. Be careful who you go around with. You don't even have to have sex with them to sometimes get their energy. But if you're that intimate, oh, you're exchanging emotions and chemistry and all these things, you never know. The demon can seep in because sex is a secret thing. It's so sacred. It's supposed to be done between husband and wife and people that are multiplying. Don't take sex for a joke. Along the way, you can have unnecessary kids. You can catch a lot of STDs. I'm not telling people to stay in a miserable marriage either. You have to decide. And you have to put your foot down. Gentlemen, don't be shaken by a woman. When they start acting like a man, you got to know when to ignore it. Because at the end of the day, you're still a man. Woman, when your man start acting like a boy, you got to know how to put your foot down. And if you start acting like a man, I don't know. You can listen or, ignore. I mean, eventually you'll figure it out. Like, if a person bullies you and you stand up to them, eventually they'll stop. Even if they beat you to a pulp. Because they know you're not afraid. So show no weakness or fear to anyone. You have to know when and how to conduct yourself. Don't get upset. It's not worth your peace and your sanity. Sometimes when I see men walk away and they leave all these women with a bunch of kids, I ask why. And a lot of it is because you have different issues. One of the issues I see is that sometimes females have their family members too involved in their personal life. They're not counselors. And if you have them involved in your personal life and disrespecting your husband, that's not right. And if husband, you have your family involved in your personal life, disrespecting your wife, that's not right. You have to work the kink out in your relationship. Now, sex tie is one of those things, it's like, you have to be careful who you're sharing yourself with sexually. Not everybody dances with the devil and live to tell the tale. If you like my videos, do remember to press the subscribe button, share, give me a thumbs up, like this video so other people can watch my video. This is Ryan Lang, MVP, and thanks for watching.